E lá vamos nós de novo.
Hey? And we've got our answer.
Access unlocked.
I've got
We
your
may
back.
proceed.
We should get a drink sometime.
Tá bom, filho, vamos tomar um drinkzinho depois.
Kaiser, this flora, this is Lazarus plant, isn't it?
Confirmed.
You know, no one even realized it was a living thing until someone got it under a microscope and saw it had cells. Can't be cultivated anywhere but Londinian. Real marvel.
Você deixa assim seguro?
Manuel Marques now live. Streaming Starfield, gameplay, Starfield.
All these leeches. What's keeping you things warm?
Um capacete. Bom, proteção térmica maior.
What's that? My God, look at it. A Lazarus in bloom. You know, we might be some of the only. What's happening? Captain, have you seen this?
Então assim que os terramorfos nascem. Nossa, cresce rápido.
The heat leeches are terramorphs.
But no, it can't be true. Heat leeches.
Ah,
They live everywhere. That means terramorphs. Oh my god.
You just saw that, right? You would tell me if I was losing my mind. That heat leech became a terramorph. The pests that have snuck onto every planet are baby terramorphs. Heat leeches hide out in ships, sneak away after landing, and then, with time, they transform.
eu desconfiei isso desde o começo, cara,
We just found out
sinceramente.
how terramorphs move between planets. That I don't have an answer for right now. But if they share a genome, like most nymphs and adults do, the microbe should have no problem dealing with heat leeches and terramorphs. The Aciles we'll have to look into. But given what we know about the creatures, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to find that they've got an appetite for both.
O que acabamos de presenciar, não pode ser assim que todos os terramorfos nascem, pode?
No, Lazarus plants can't grow anywhere but here, let alone blossom. People have tried. Plus, if what we just witnessed was happening anywhere else, well, it wouldn't just be Londinian lost to these things. What we just saw, it must be some kind of alternate growth method. One that winnows 70 years of maturation into seconds. It's incredible. Pretty Major is right. But if what we just saw, if that's possible, the Lazarus plant, it's clearly an accelerant for the terramorph, a heat leech transformation process. Make one into the other in an instant. But that means if anyone knew about this, they could trigger a terramorph spawning. You could sneak a leech into a city, or even multiple leeches, into a place like New Atlantis. Good God. The attack on New Atlantis, could someone have set that up?
Muito provavelmente.
But first, you'd have to know the truth about all this.
Well, we're never gonna know if you don't catch that thing. Get after it.
We may proceed.
Go!
Engaging.
Uploaded them myself.
Captain, let Kaiser take a look at that sample.
Beginning analysis. It is a match. This suggests with high certainty that the Lazarus plant was used to trigger the attacks on both planets.
There's no way a plant this rare, this...
Alguém tá pegando essa planta e levando pra lá.
New Atlantis and Tau Ceti. The transformations on those worlds, they must have been triggered by human hands.
Com certeza.
Captain, do you understand what it is we just stumbled on here?
Sim. Eu quero ver. Acho que significa que a planta Lázaro foi usada para desencadear o ataque em Nova Atlântica. Isso é fato. Esse alguém pensou que podia atacar ao C e sair ileso. Quero ouvir de você.
I think someone figured out how to use the Lazarus plant to trigger terramorph attacks. A bioweapon no one would recognize as one. Oh, that's a terrifying prospect. The sort of thing that'll keep you up at night. And the sort of thing whoever did this probably didn't expect us to uncover. Makes some sense, actually. Tau Ceti was likely their first test. Someplace remote where no one would question a few settlers going missing. Ensure the big show, the attack on New Atlantis, would be a success. And the timing of that one. It couldn't have been just luck that it happened right when we were asking the cabinet to do something about the Terramorphs. These attacks. I think someone planned them to set all this in motion.
Tá, você já falou isso. Mas eu não entendo como é que eles descobriram agora que os terramorphos são termossuga. Por que num lugar todo cheio de tecnologia desse não fizeram uma comparação genética entre os dois? Ah, não é possível.
It can't. At least, I didn't think it could.
Mas às vezes não é a planta, mas pode ser só um princípio ativo.
Someone found a way. They certainly were. But having this answer, well, it raises a couple big questions. Who could pull something like this off?
And why? Nossa senhora, mas tem muito suspeito, gente. Não tem a menor ideia.
Roger that. Kaiser, get us into the spaceport?
The entrance is this way.
I can help you. Just say the word.
Sufficient power to the lock mechanism.
Anyone got ideas where we could get some extra juice?
Local power looks like it was controlled in the security office. Upper floor.
Captain and I can scout it out. Kaiser, see if you can't find another way to get it open.
Roger that. I have restored power to the office entrance. You may proceed.
There's the control panel. Still looks operable. Of all the things.
Nossa, há quanto tempo isso aqui tá aí apodrecendo? Eu vou comer isso não. Onde que eu tenho que ir agora? Ah, tá.
Reboot engaged. Running diagnostic. Diagnostic complete. Multiple systems unavailable. Warning. Priority safety concern detected. Exterior hatch power restored.
Back in business.
Warning. Emergency recorder message detected. Transcription process engaged. Playback initiated.
Admiral Senna, we need to make the evacuation request.
That's my father he's addressing. He was here? Didn't think he'd have the guts to look those soldiers in the eye before blowing this place to pieces.
Admiral!
It just transformed. An invisible weapon. No planet will be safe. Colonel, the troops that closed off the sewers after my evaluation, they're all in this facility.
Other than our casualties? Yes, sir.
Good. Get them into defensive positions around the spaceport. No one leaves. They'll send ships as soon as possible.
Thank God. None of us wanted to go down swarmed by those things.
That won't be your fate, Colonel. You have my word.
Transcription complete. Physical copy available.
An invisible weapon. He knew about the Lazarus plant.
Mas por que ele não falou nada?
We should talk.
Mas por que ele não falou nada e ficou preso? Eu não entendi.
I think you need to get rid of some of that gear. Hey there. Glad to see you. I'll only carry the good stuff. Just kidding. I know that you'll always have my back, because that's the type of... Anytime you want to talk. It was nice talking to you again.
Hey, Victus. He destroyed this place. Killed these people to keep what he knew about the Lazarus plant and the Terramorphs and all this a secret. Didn't he?
Uh-huh.
He saw the potential of the plant as a weapon and hid it away. He killed those people to keep them from sharing what they might have seen. Condemned this whole city to death. He's...
Filha da puta.
Oh, you make it sound like a miscalculation, when in reality it was an unmitigated disaster. And look where we are now. Oh, some secret.
A calculated loss. These soldiers for the rest of the galaxy. That sounds exactly like what my father would do. But it doesn't, it can't justify slaughter. But if the plant was used to trigger the attacks, could Faye Victus have been involved in the massacre on New Atlantis?
She's alive. Faye Victus is still alive. Not only that, but you're telling me that the attack on New Atlantis was his responsibility, just like the attack on Londinium. Oh, that's unbelievable. This is just typical of UC bureaucracy. A cover-up of this magnitude could directly lead to war. What the hell is the matter with them?
And there's no one he's in contact with that could help him on the outside? He got a hold of you, didn't he? But I guess we're not getting any more answers right now. Come on, let's go get that last sample.
Bora lá.
Kaiser, try it now.
Guys, your sample, it moved. I'd be real careful out there if I were you.
That doesn't sound good. Eyes peeled.
O que eu tenho que catar agora, gente? Nossa, mais uma amostra. Provavelmente vai ter uma guerrona aqui. Por que tá fazendo esse barulho?
All sides! They're all around us! Fall back! Fall back!
That sound! What is that?
That thing is putting out some kind of signal. Radar's lighting up. I think you're due for some company.
You're not gonna leave me here, are you?
A arma bugou. Puta que pariu.
The signal that thing's putting out to call in those creatures, I think I can nullify it. But I'm gonna need some help. There should be some radar equipment powered up now around the pool. You get those online, and I'll relay the signal from there.
Down! Get down!
There it is! Open fire! Fire, damn it!
Sai daí, Kaizen. Eu, hein? Cara chato. Para de me seguir. Porra, Kaizen.
Closer now.
I'm going to end you.
This is useless. It will take more than that. Take your damage.
There's another
Cara, esse robô é enjoado demais. Meu Deus.
Right behind you.
Você podia sair da frente, né, o fé da puta. Caralho, mano. Sai daí, Kaizen.
It's going to kill you.
Over here. Please. You have to help me.
It's right there.
Ai, gente, lutar com esse alucinógeno na cabeça é uma bosta também. Join us o quê? Join us o cu. Morreu, desgraça, filha da puta. Se fode aí, desgraça.
Grab that sample while we can. Good. Now just stash that sample with Kaiser and we're done.
Vocês querem morrer também? Toma, um tiro pra sua cabeça.
Vital sample secure.
All wrapped up. Time to get the hell out of here. Percival, you should unplug and find somewhere we can talk. Privately.
On it. See you soon.
Pô, já recebi um dano no pulmão, cara. Sacanagem, eu tô com roupa de frio.
Look at all of you. Back from the underworld.
Got pretty frantic on the comms towards the end there. But it sounded like this was a success. Got everything we need to put this plan in motion.
Foi você, né, desgraçado?
Can't be positive until we run some tests. But knowing that the Terramorphs have been masquerading as heat leeches all this time is a big find. Arguably makes things more feasible, now that we know what we're dealing with, not less.
Agreed. Plus, I don't think you're gonna have to push real hard to get folks on board with cleaning up one of the galaxy's greatest pests if this is what they're capable of.
But none of that's getting done without the samples. You do have them, right? Ah, this place for them. Now, my connection might have gotten a bit fuzzy there, but do I have it right that Vay Victus knew about this damn plant?
That's what it sounded like.
Guess the old Admiral must have told someone what he learned. Even he's not clever enough to pull off an attack like that from the great beyond.
It's a bit more complicated than that.
Não vou falar pra você, não.
Captain, he needs to know. Vay Victus is alive.
Filho da
He
puta!
have been involved in the attacks.
Alive? He's... Vay Victus? That can't be true, right?
Unfortunately for us all, yes, it's true.
Você é muito enfiona, hein, minha querida?
We have a suspect.
I believe that's exactly what that means. Look,
Não foi ele.
Percival and I, we need to get these samples back to the lab. Ensure we'll be able to handle cleaning up the leeches as well as the Terramorphs. But Vay Victus is the only solid lead we've got on the attacks. Since you're the only one who knows where he is, can you speak to him? See if you can get him to cough up anything he might know. Captain, I truly don't. He's already shown he's taken an interest in you. I'll be a lot more useful in the lab right now than I would be grilling Francois. So do you think you could do it? Please? Plenty of people out there with grudges against the UC, but he's the only one we know had any knowledge of the Lazarus plant. So right now, it's the only option we've got. Will you do it? Whatever you can turn up is more than we have now.
Isso é
We'll all
fato.
meet back at Mast, outside the cabinet chambers. They're gonna want to know everything we've uncovered here. Best of luck, Captain. And thank you for dealing with him.
Ganhou dinheiro gostoso agora, hein? Fale com o Vay Victus. Tá bom. Falarei com ele. Mas primeiro vou dar uma mijada. Boa.
Lift off when you are, Captain.
I have something for you when you have a moment.
Aceito.
If you want help, I'm here. Yep, here you go. Oh, damn. I was starting to enjoy the conversation.
Deu pra ver.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking at you.
Gente, eu vivo fudendo meu pulmão. Ele já tá ruim de novo. Vou entrar no elevadorzinho aqui do lado.
I've lived in New Atlantis almost my entire life, and I had no idea this place even existed. The UC certainly excels at keeping secrets.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Vamos conversar, seu filho da puta.
Well, what a pleasant surprise. When I heard you and Hadrian were headed for Londinian of all places, I could be of assistance. Were you able to recover what you were looking for? Good news then. So, what exactly are you doing here?
Vai com muito cuidado com ele.
Defeating the Terramorphs, no? Did you? Well, I don't know what you think you heard on this recording, but I sincerely hope you didn't come to the wrong conclusions. After all, given the Cabinet's current state of anxiety, they might misinterpret such a discovery to mean I could have been involved with the attacks. Perhaps I can convince you to keep this among us.
Então não sabe nada mesmo sobre os ataques? É isso que você está afirmando?
Of course. Do I look like I'm in any position to do what you're describing? So I'd very much appreciate your agreement to not share what you found. We wouldn't want anyone else jumping to conclusions now, would we? You know, you're far more clever than I expected. You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terramorph attacks on Tau City, New Atlantis, my doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I, figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinian, learning to synthesize it, use it as a weapon. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing.
Eu não faço a menor ideia.
All in due time. First, I want to see if you're truly as astute as you appear. So why would someone like me go through all this trouble? Not a bad thought. But no. The attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found, but we were at war. And I couldn't risk information that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. So I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport, fixing two problems at once. Halting the spread of the city's Terramorph outbreak, and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential. These were the final days of the colony war, Captain. The Freestar Collective had spies everywhere. I was concerned that if word got out, the Collective could swoop down, start breeding Lazarus plants, and overrun our worlds with waves of Terramorphs. Just like what was happening on Londinian at that very moment. Sealing off the city to prevent mass death? It was the only option that made sense at the time. Simple to say now, but with the outbreak raging from a barely understood source, the moment demanded quick action. So I did what was required. I removed the dangerous variable from an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter, she becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero. You. Why would I want to be in the good graces of the people who control my very life? I don't know, Captain. Maybe I still dream of a life outside these walls someday. A new face would be needed, of course, but it wasn't an impossibility. Though now, I'm not so sure. It wasn't easy. But the beauty of being loathed is that people will do whatever they can not to deal with you. They wanted to pretend I didn't exist. And so I used their blind eye to my advantage. Still, establishing a back channel to Orlays via the UC recovery teams was painstaking work. I've led campaigns less nerve-wracking. They believed they were luring in wanted criminals, but were in fact delivering precisely encoded slates, filled with instructions invisible to any but their recipient, dropped off at just the right moments to fall into the proper hands. All without the UC realizing whom they were actually dealing with. Slow work. But as you can see, ultimately effective. Can't remember the many lives you've taken. Orlays was the man whose death you brought about around the moon of Etheria, the pilot of the Warlock, the man I had to eliminate, to hide my secret. There are no heroes without a villain. I simply arranged the opportunity for us to overcome one and become the other. And we all benefited. It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard? With only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home in the well someday. Something befitting the dedication to the colonies you two have shown. While, of course, they can't give you a command, responsibility like that has to be earned. The Cabinet does have access to considerable resources. I expect you'll be quite pleased with the result. And none of it would have happened without my intervention. You're being honored only because I arranged the situations where it could happen. Be grateful. And let's not forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the Terramorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands, maybe millions of lives. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. I've already already sent along the evidence of Orlez's role in the attacks to the cabinet, leaving out my own involvement. All I ask is that you confirm as much to the cabinet. Tell them that it was Orlez and Orlez alone. After all, I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This needn't be the end of our good works together. Hunting down criminals and other threats to the United Colonies. I expect they'll give me a bit more free range once this is all over. You would help me, like you did with Orlez. Track them down and keep them from doing harm to the United Colonies. Impossible, though. If the
Isso é muito
cabinet learns
ruim.
I'm the one responsible for the attacks. And how many have you killed to get where you are now? There are no great works that don't cost lives, Captain. Whether it's winning a war or
Você
digging
matou
a tram
inocente.
tunnel. So we sacrificed a few dozen in the attacks to possibly protect millions. That seems like a fair exchange to me. I only hope you'll see the same and leave my name out of the discussions to come. That is a pity, Captain. But I'm in no position to negotiate. Though we needn't be enemies, you and I. Just think about the opportunity I've provided here. There are more on the horizon. If you do the right thing.
Coisa certa. Você vai pro Chile. Ah, na verdade, você vai morrer, né?
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Perfect timing. We just got in. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the acyles are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against terramorphs.
Mas já?
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Did my father tell you what he knew about the Lazarus plant? I knew it. The second I heard that recording, I knew. Why? Did he say why he did it? It takes some deeply twisted logic to think anything did more harm to the Sanan name than him.
So you're telling us that the attack on New Atlantis was Vey Victus's responsibility? Just like the dooming of Londinian? That's insane. All that, just to help restore the family name? How did he ever think that was going to work?
Well,
É que deu
once
certo.
we inform the cabinet, they can ensure he won't be able to do anything like this ever again. My hope would be that whatever connections he's got to the outside world disappear. Make sure his future schemes and machinations stay in his cell with him. But honestly, I'm not sure. He's in a unique position, and has done a special kind of harm to the colonies. Exactly. Bring justice to everyone he's hurt. So I guess that gives us our final answer. Nothing left to do but head in and see what the cabinet thinks of it all. Unless there was more to discuss. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision regarding the Terramorphs. It's hard to know. Unlike my father, the cabinet aren't butchers. But killing UC citizens, along with everything else he's done, is unforgivable. But if you're really that concerned, you could request they be lenient. They might be willing to spare him. Asylees aren't hostile to humans, but they are megafauna. If someone decides to pick a fight with one, it could get ugly. But they've already been spread far and wide once before when the UC was raising them as livestock, so the risk of introducing them to new worlds is minimal. Using them to clean up the Terramorphs and leeches, though, it's not going to be nearly as expedient as the microbe would be. Given what we know now about the Lazarus plant, the speed of the job does matter. But going with the Asylees, we're at least dealing with known risks. They are.
Microbe needed minimal adjustment to account for heat leech anatomy.
And the Asylees seem like they're even better at tracking leeches than morphs.
Hell of a sight to watch, though, when they catch them. Like an open airlock guzzling angry spaghetti. Microbe is gonna make the cleanup a whole lot quicker. If we're concerned about this Lazarus plant getting deployed again, that's the way to go.
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant, and then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we can make this safe.
I do know the science. I also know math, and a 1 in a million chance of a mutation isn't 0. So I guess we're still in discussion. Probably best at this point to let the cabinet weigh in, see if they have a preference. And here we go.
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report, and the second one I just received, it seems the Terramorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true? This report comes from a particularly confidential source both you and I are familiar with, yes. Among the reasons its findings are so alarming. Now, is it true? Was the attack on New Atlantis planned? The second report claims to know the perpetrator as well. Did Reginald Orlays actually commit these attacks, Captain?
Orlays? Well, ma'am, it seems your report is incorrect. Francois Sanon was responsible for the attacks.
He did what? That's impossible. He doesn't have the kind of access to...
Clearly, he made his own access, Chief Sarkin. Madam President, I have been saying for years that not dealing with that man was gonna end in tragedy.
Enough! I hope everyone here understands that what has just been shared is a state secret of the highest order. This information does not leave this room. Now that's quite the accusation your group is leveling. Seeing as Francois Sanon has not left containment for the better part of 2 decades. You have evidence to back this up? I can think of numerous reasons why someone, after learning Victus is still alive, might want to correct that. So I'm not going to accept such a stunning claim without proof.
It just transformed. A terramorph out of thin air. An invisible weapon. No planet would be safe.
Heavens help us. Is that actually him?
I'd know that voice anywhere. That's Francois.
He knew they could do this. And said nothing.
He's a sociopath. Plain and simple, ma'am.
Officer, please collect that recording.
Yes, ma'am. Begging your pardon, Captain.
We'll, of course, be launching a full investigation into how this could have happened. Though I have little doubt the Admiral will be quick to share all he knows on the subject once confronted with that recording. Chief Yassine, can you send one of your interrogators to have a little chat with the Admiral?
I'll issue the order immediately.
Good. Combined with everything else you all have uncovered. Well, I don't think the United Colonies can thank you enough. We failed the people of the colonies by not dealing with Victus sooner. I intend to rectify that mistake immediately. That's truly disconcerting to hear. But cutting off Victus's contact with the outside world is likely to be just the beginning of his punishment. That will be up to the cabinet to decide. But I don't appreciate our mercy being taken advantage of. I'm not sure I see why someone with UC blood on their hands would merit leniency. But I will note your request when the decision is made. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches, the three of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls to the cabinet to ensure this can never happen again. As such, the cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant will be classified to ensure no one else learns its true nature.
A sound decision, Madam President.
Well, luckily the natural hostility of Londinian makes keeping out trespassers relatively easy. But we'll ensure its growth is contained, that access to the plant is only permitted via highly regulated clearances, and that our troop presence on Londinian is increased. We're already discussing the elimination of one species, Captain. Explain to me why you wish to eliminate another. I'm not sure I like what you're suggesting. The UC's only plan is to
Será
protect
mesmo, minha
lives.
querida?
Though, I won't discount that perhaps your proposal could get us closer to that goal. So, explain to me your thinking in destroying the plant.
Yes, absolutely. The UC has to be as transparent as possible from now on. Otherwise, we could be risking a second colony war.
That is an idea with some merit to it. Decrease the likelihood of anything like this occurring again, and further relations between our two factions.
Two birds with a single stone. Very well. We'll include the collective in the removal process. Thank you for the suggestion, Captain. So then, to our final topic. The Cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the Terramorph, and now also Heat Leech presence on human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps. The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President. It isn't dangerous. Using it to wipe out the Terramorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes, don't they?
As you can see, there remains debate among the Cabinet. We were hoping your group might issue a recommendation. Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the Captain has yet to weigh in.
I see. Captain, I know this may not be your area of expertise, but we'd like to know your take on the matter. I believe we have a responsibility to do something, yes. Heavens forbid, years from now, it falls to us to enact.
I'm in full agreement. No need be delving into unpredictable sciences.
Here's hoping they'll be kept on a short leash.
That, madam, is most certainly the plan.
Order, please. And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the Captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. We'll begin the process immediately. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terramorph Management Division, making you three the founding members of the TMD. As befits such a group, the Cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you joking?
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
It's a status reserved only for those who've dedicated their lives to the United Colonies, or done great things for its cause. Class 1s enjoy an ample credit disbursement, an additional reduction on the cost of colonial goods. And I'm told the penthouse is rather impressive. You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sinan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing to continue your efforts spearheading the TMD's research on Mars.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
As for you, Captain, the Vanguard will be providing much of the on-the-ground support for the TMD. As a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you'll have your pick of duties. Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named Class 1. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our sincerest gratitude. This meeting is adjourned.
A lot on your mind? We have an amazing rapport that's not only enhanced my life, but made me a better person. Anytime you want to talk. It was really good talking to you.
Cool spacesuit.
Well, at least our perpetrator won't.
Vamos ao espaçoporto. Gente, é a primeira vez que eu vejo chover em Nova Atlantis. Ai, gente, que inveja dessa chuva, olha. Ai, que delícia. Podia estar sendo aqui Itaperuna. Um calor brabo do inferno aqui. Deixa essa roupa ridícula, né?
Another day, another shift.
Help you with?
Happy to listen. Feel free to drop some stuff. Hope we can talk later. playing too many odds and ends. Time to look important or not. If you have any gear you want me to haul, leaving? Oh, I see how it is. Sam has told me so many stories about Aquila City. I feel as though I've lived here all my life.
Sensors shouldn't cause any disruption at all. I checked the schematic 3 times. Oh, it's you. I got the data from the seismic sensors, and I need help. Nothing that would get you in trouble this time. Promise. I need someone to go talk to Davis Wilson. He isn't speaking to me. None of the security folks are, actually. Oh, thank you. It's really nice to hear that when others just don't seem to care. Remember the sensors you helped me set up around the city? Well, I suppose I should have expected that, but now no one involved. And I really need to coordinate with them because the data I'm getting from the sensors is kinda everything. The timing of the results, the strength of the signals. I did a lot of research on the Ashta before I started this project. No, the tech is fine. I never would have put it out there if I... Look, I know I screwed up here. I went behind Davis's back and did what he told me not to. But this, I'm not gonna lie. It looks an awful lot like someone has been purposely messing with this. I can't just stroll up and accuse him of anything, but maybe someone, you I'm thinking, could just... I'd really appreciate it.
People around here think we own Aquila. They're wrong. The Ashta do. Don't mean to be rude, but I got a lot of things on my plate right now. So unless this is important, I'm gonna have to ask you to come back some other time.
Acho que lembra um pouquinho o Sérgio Moro, que estranho.
Well, ain't that just about the last damn thing I need right now? Oh, is she? After going off and doing exactly what she was told? She made my life a lot more difficult, but I don't have time to deal with that right now. I've been tracking Ashta for a long time now, and suddenly their behavior doesn't add up. That makes sense. Something's got them riled up. Now, I need to get back out there and get some eyes on this situation. Since you so interested, looks like you can handle yourself. You want to join me? Gear yourself up however you need to and meet me at the gate. We'll head out from there.
Didn't hear this from me. But those ecliptic mercenaries, the factions use them sometimes. Freestar Collective and UC both. That's why they give them a wide berth. Ask me, those murdering assholes should be blasted into space dust.
Vigilance is what keeps Aquila City safe. All right, you ready to head out there? Okay then. Just stick close to me, keep your head on a swivel, and you'll be fine. We'll be back before you know it.
Vambora, fi. Vambora.
Don't you worry. Those walls are solid. Ain't no Ashta getting in here.
Stay close. Stay safe. This is what I'm talking about. These tracks. They're all wrong. The spacing, the depth, just doesn't make any sense. Let's keep going. The Ashta are clever, but they're usually predictable. These tracks don't follow any other paths I expect them to. It just doesn't add up. Looks like the tracks head this way. What in the hell? This is one of our security bots. Someone sent this thing out to mimic the Ashta? Why in the world? Shit, you hear that? Eyes up, we got incoming.
Are you shooting at flies now?
There's something I need to talk to you about.
Beyond the wall is no day trip. You know how to handle yourself. Most times someone encounters an Ashta, they panic. Not you. Now I got even more questions. Who in the hell did this, and why? No, this almost cost us lives. No one I know would think that's funny. Someone from Aquila Security did this. We're the only ones that have access to these robots or can change their orders. I need to check this over, see if I can find some more details. While I do that, I need you to run back to the city. Check the access logs on the computer in the barracks. Look for whoever signed for this thing last.
Beleza, filho.
I'll meet you in the city when I'm done here.
Sorry to pull you aside like this, but I wanted to take a moment to congratulate you. Taking those steps to eradicate the Terramorph threat is essential to the safety of every living thing in the settled systems. Indeed. Leaving that problem unchecked could have made the situation go from bad to worse. I only wish that the United Colonies chose to exterminate the Terramorphs with the experimental microbe, instead of choosing this ridiculous Asili solution. Apparently, their decision was based on your recommendation. That was a risky choice you've made. I beg to differ with you. Deploying the Asili solution is going to take years, perhaps even decades. The microbe would have cut that time drastically. You've already seen how much destruction just a few Terramorphs can... While we wait for the Asilis to naturally prey upon them, we have to spend time and resources defending ourselves. How many human lives will be lost due to the wait? Why should we wall ourselves in when we could simply eradicate them in one fell swoop? The science was at our disposal, and now we've cast that aside. Well,
Filha da puta!
that you didn't trust the science.
Eu confiei.
The eradication of the Lazarus plant gives the Asilis a bit more time to do their job. I'm sorry. I don't. All we've saw. It doesn't dismiss the fact that it will take... You haven't let me down. You've simply given me cause for concern. I'll tell you what. Let's put this past us, shall we?
Keep your nose clean. Last thing I want is to charge you for a DP, an A and B, a B and E.
We work to live, but can't make a living.
These jetpacks for a reason, you know.
I get problem?
Esse sujeito.
If it weren't for the walls, the whole town would be an Ashta buffet. Oh, hey there. Back already. Davis said something about you going on patrol with him? He's... he's all right, isn't he? Nothing
Safada.
bad happened out there. Oh no. Look, people getting hurt was never part of it. Davis has just been so stressed over this whole thing with that woman and her sensors, and it's been affecting him on the job. The damn robot was just supposed to stomp around, mess up her data, and then come back. I didn't know it would rile up the Ashta so much, and it wasn't supposed to break down. It won't matter. I really screwed this up.
Well, lucky, Bailey. If it was me, I wouldn't be so lenient.
Vamos fazer a fofoca toda agora.
Maybe I should just get out of here.
I know your type. The freewheeling spaces.
robot could have killed people. The robot's internals are fried, so I came up empty. You have any better luck than I did? Know who's responsible? You serious? Oh, Bailey, what were you thinking? My own people sabotaging equipment. Whole world's gone crazy. Well, I'm gonna have to go deal with this. Thanks for helping out. I'll kick some credits your way. May not be much, but not made of money around here. You might want to give Miss Alpin some time to get clean data.
Tinha que ser o governo que paga, né?
Well, it might prove useful.
How you doing?
I love my job. So many memories of happy homeowners building new lives. It's an unfurnished one-bedroom, lots of space. It's a very convenient location. Are you interested? A shame. Well, if you change your mind, just let me know.
Vamos lá.
There are a ton of distractions in Neon, so I expect you to be on your best behavior here.
Tua vida, safada.
Interesting. This district certainly provides evidence that Ryugen's influence has spread from their tower and out into the city.
Não quero trabalhar para ele, não.
If I can help you with it, don't stay away too long.
think we should say those overzealous worship a snake?
Why bother if they want to tear themselves to shreds?
That side's a bad place for tourists these days.
Vai encher o saco de outro. Sabates.
What? What are you looking at? This is striker turf. You know where to find me.
Well, I've got to say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain. It's a high honor. Have to do something big for the colonies to earn that sort of designation. Only ever met a couple myself, and certainly never given one orders. You should be real proud. No need to thank me. You brought this on yourself. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies discount. And the credits should be in your accounts now. But to get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Aphelion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access.
12,000.
Just out the front door and across the plaza. Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know how much they appreciate what you've done. But with all that squared, it's time to get you a new assignment. There are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to use defending UC space. Or you could help the TMD in cleaning up terramorphs. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any, new alien threats on the horizon. Any of those missions call to you? Suppose that's true. Well, we can remedy that right now. Just getting those coordinates to you now. Report says ships at these coordinates fired on United Colonies craft. You're cleared to use lethal force if necessary. Notation mentioned Crimson Fleet.
Bora pra Netuno. O que esse povo quer? Foi rápido.
Oh, I don't know. Some trees here and some grass there, and this place might not look so awful.
Dangerous assignment. But you all are here because you can handle it. So any questions, concerns, anything at all? Hello.
It's a damn shame that it was necessary to reopen this facility. But someone has to deal with the fact that the Terramorphs have resurfaced.
Interest you in a new assignment? No one else I'd rather have doing it. Who knows? Probably need to come. I joined UC DRIP, Defense Research and Initiative. Worked on all kinds of projects, but I fell hard for the way I saw it. Nature had already figured out plenty more. Initially, it was a lot of material sciences, using carapace to make... But when the war started looming, top brass in the UC military had other... There was a team before us, set up in some secret base somewhere, that laid down a fair bit of ground. But when a lab accident took them down, they called on Hadrian and I to take up the mantle, set in motion. Oh yeah, known each other since the Xeno weapon. You can imagine my shock when I walked into this place for the first time and found some plucky... We were supposed to be co-heads initially, but You've dealt with Hadrian. You can imagine about how long that lasted. But the Major knew her stuff. Saw potential in all her staff and knew how to get the best out of her. For all the damage that group did, we were... Why? I want to watch what we did back then. We were trying to win a war. We used every tool we had, tools we were permitted to use at the time. Well, UC did what the situation demanded, just like all of us did. But at least now, with the TMD, some of that work is finally being put to better ends. You heard right. These terramorph attacks, they caught the UC off guard. So, they want us patrolling the front lines of xenological life, ensure we've got intel on any possible new alien. Which means, we need someone to track down said aliens, and harvest samples from them. And not just any sample from these... We're trying to build a comprehensive picture here, which requires specific cells from specific family. But since dealing with unfriendly creatures falls square in your wheelhouse, well, I figured we might be able to recruit. This isn't the same sort of harvesting you and Hadrian were doing with the Terramorphs. A little... If you can get close enough to these creatures to harvest from them directly, you should be able to collect what we need without killing them. Though, if heavens forbid, there's no viable option other than putting the things down. We're only talking a select few specimens here. These populations will recover. Pretty much every beast, behemoth, critter, and chimera humanity's run across is on the list. But we can send in-house researchers after the little guys. Your job will be primarily dealing with the, more troublesome species. Glad to hear it. There is just one additional wrinkle. UC spec this as a one-person job, but I convinced them this sort of task merits expert backup. So, if you're interested, they've agreed to let you take Hadrian with you. You'll have to convince her, of course. And I don't think she'll fight you too badly. We could use Hadrian here, absolutely. But we have other scientists. Not a lot of other people can go up against apex predators and come home again and again. You and Hadrian are the right people for this job. I expect she wouldn't mind too badly. Now, let's get you the details of your first quarry. Here you go. Head there, find your specimens, and bring those samples back here. I'll have a tech waiting outside to collect them from you. And remember, proximity should be all you need to get your samples. Get close, harvest, and get out before they spot you. Snatch them. Close up and come home safe.
Captain, looks like we missed each other back at Mast. Listen, I just wanted to say, I could have never guessed where all this was going to lead. But now, knowing what I do, that my father truly is the monster I always thought he was. Well, I've just spent a lot of my life in pursuit of the truth. So, you bringing it straight to me, it just means a lot. The best ones certainly do. You know, I was thinking, while we were up on that podium, if I wanted to try and see him again. But I knew the answer before I even finished the thought. I didn't. Because confronting him, what would I have gained from that? From letting him remind me I can never truly be rid of him. Nothing. Now, all I'd be doing is acknowledging that he still has some sway over my life. And while I can't do anything about his role in my past, I'm not about to let him control my future. And thanks to what we've done together, that future is brighter than it has been in a long time. Words can't do justice to how grateful I am for that. He said that? I mean, I guess. You're sure you'd really want me to come with you? I guess you're right. I always imagined that future would be here at the TMD, but, well, maybe a change of scenery wouldn't be so bad. Besides, Percival will never let me forget it if I turn down field work in favor of a desk job. If you really need backup out there, I'll watch your six. You can count on me to pull my weight. I'll always help out in combat, and I'm happy to assist you with any research, too. Having an extra xenosociologist around on this assignment sure couldn't hurt. We'll be dealing with plenty of hostile creatures. Yeah, I think so, too. Thank you for the offer. Really. It was unexpected, but... I'll head out soon. I just need to talk to Percival before I go. He's gonna get an earful for arranging this without talking to me about it first. See you, Captain.
This is quite an impressive research facility. When it comes to the study of the Terramorph, the Red Devils are sparing no expense.
Yes?
Tem um terramorfo preso aí. Que perigo.
Howdy.
A gente vai dar uma dormida.